Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Kev Baker, and you're tuned in live to today's hour number 2 of the Kev Baker Show. Hope you're all doing real well out there. Hope you're raring to go. And boy, oh boy, do we have a doozy lined up for all of you, because I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend. It's Johnny Whistles. How you doing, Whistles, man?
I'm doing fine, Kev. Thanks very much. Yeah, great to be back here, Kev. Talking about some of the woo that we're going to get into. Some of it's pretty cool, mate. Some of the stuff you've dug up. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, man. There's always lots of woo Whistles, and it's great to have you here, man. Because, like I was saying, you know, anytime you do manage to make it onto the show, it's always a bonus these days, right? Because I mean, I know neither of us, we don't keep it as well as we used to. So anytime you make it on here, it's always going to be kicked back. We're going to be chilling out, chillaxing, Johnny. And there's always woo to talk about. And of course, I've got you on camera here right now, right? We're simulcasting this hour. So a big shout out to everyone at tfrlive.com, the home of the Kev Baker Show, and everyone that's joining us now on YouTube as well. Johnny, I don't know what Skype looks like on your end, but on this end, your camera's all frozen. I don't know what's going on there. We'll fix it during the break. Thankfully, dude, you don't have some kind of hysterical, crazy look on your face. So
that's not so bad.
Exactly, Whistles. You see some of these, like, unfortunate camera freezes where it catches you at the most inappropriate time, right? I mean, you've seen it before. It happens to everyone. So I can tell you, Johnny, you're looking good, man. You're looking good. How you been keeping anyway?
Not bad, Kev. Thanks very much. Yep, I've actually been well. I've been just waiting on like hospital appointments and all that thing. I've been getting my eyes fixed and I've been getting my ears fixed, so I'm getting everything all ready. You know what I mean? It's looking good. It'll get there, Kev. Slowly but surely, it's getting there.
That's what I like to hear, Whistles. It truly is. And of course, everyone will be excited to hear from you today. I'm just getting things sorted out this end here so I can see what I'm doing. This is really quite disconcerting. Although you don't have a funny face on, Johnny, it's still quite weird seeing you sat there like a statue. But we have got lots to talk about. We'll get that fixed. Don't you worry about that, brother. No. And the thing I want to start with first, Johnny, okay? I mean, we're approaching Halloween now. And before we know it, it's going to be Christmas. But Halloween, when you were growing up, what kind of memories do you have of going out guising, as we call it over here, Johnny? I mean, what kind of thing would you typically have got dressed up as? Or when your son was growing up, what kind of outfits, what costumes were the in thing then?
Okay, if it was the normal, do you know what I mean? A soldier or a cowboy, Indians, it was all something like that. But the thing is, Kev, it was only kids. I never seen any adults when I was a child going out for Halloween. But it's been kind of a hijacked by the adults, and to be honest with you, it kind of ruins it for me.
Yeah, it's definitely different than what it used to be. Of course, once you start bringing the adults into it, Johnny, what does that do? That adds a whole new market to make money and profit out of it.
Exactly.
And I remember when I was a young guy, you used to go tell a joke, literally, like it says, trick or treat. You would go into houses, Johnny, and you would duke for apples. Remember, you would have the fork, and you'd be duking for apples, and there'd be like sticky toffee sweeties hanging from the ceiling, and you'd get covered. It'd be fun. It'd be messy. And I think one time I went out as a ghost. Another time my mum tried to dress me up as a girl for some ungodly reason, and don't even ask me why. Anne's sitting laughing in the background here. And there was other occasions. I'm trying to remember a soldier. I think I went out as Action Man, all cammed up one year, things like that, right? Well, I was taking a look around today with Halloween coming up, and I'm thinking, well, you know, we've come a long way since I was growing up. The costumes must have advanced as well. So I went and took a look, and what I found left me questioning what dimension I'm in, because this isn't the same place that I was born in, Johnny. It can't be. Everything seems so different than it used to be. And I know people will say, but Kev, you're getting on a bit now. 30 years since you were out guising, or whatever the hell you old men call it. And I get that. Time has passed. However, there's something kind of changing about Halloween. And the reason I say that is because when you take a look at this year's trend in costumes, for me, A, I didn't know half of the characters that are these top 10 costumes, and B, Johnny, wasn't Halloween like about ghosties and ghoulies and things that go bump in the night and witches and all like that kind of creepy stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. But as you said, Kev, what we're actually getting just now, what you posted, I mean, see, when I had a look at it earlier, I honestly could not believe it.
Johnny, I thought we could have a laugh with like some traditional kind of outfits, like witches and things like that. I thought they might have got a bit riskier over the years, you know? The more hedonistic the world gets, I thought maybe the shorter that the Halloween costumes would get. I was left, like I say, scratching my head thinking, is this Halloween or hell that we're in? I have no idea what's going on anymore. And in the latest example that we live in, some kind of twisted version of idiocracy, let me just take you into the weird world that is this year's Halloween and the trend in costumes, shall we? And I bet you right now, if you're thinking out there, you're probably thinking to yourself, I know what costumes it is. It's A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z. Think again, okay? Think again. It says here, before we dive into Thanksgiving and Christmas, and this comes from marieclaire.com, Johnny. High fashion mag, right?
Yep.
So it says, before we dive into Thanksgiving and Christmas, there's another holiday to check off the list. Halloween. Now, no matter where you're going this year, you'll be familiar with the pressure to find a costume that's come somewhere between, that's somewhere between cool and obscure and done to death. Now, I'm here to take some of that weight off your shoulders. Well, thank goodness for that, because I haven't been able to sleep for weeks, Johnny, in the build up to this Halloween.
Me too.
What on earth's name are we going to wear, Johnny? So, let's take some wisdom from Marie Claire. It says, drawing from some of the most talked about shows and movies of 2019, I've compiled a small but mighty list of trendy 2019 Halloween costumes. When did that even... Listen, when we get into this list in a minute, you're going to really struggle to see how the hell this is Halloween. It says most people tend to fall into two categories on Halloween. The ones who go all out and the ones who don a cat-eared headband for the 100th time. Now, armed with the inspo below... my word. I take it that's like woke speak for inspiration. Armed with the inspo below, you definitely won't be the latter. So, number one in this list is something or someone called Rue Bennett from Euphoria. Now, John, colour me old and old-fashioned and not quite in touch with things. I don't know what Euphoria is. I've never heard of Rue Bennett. And looking at either one of these girls, in the picture included, not one of them scares me. It doesn't look anything like a Halloween outfit, dude. And they give you all the stuff that you can buy here, all the options to make up the outfit. And what confuses me even further in this world that we find ourselves in is the fact that the main picture has two young girls in it. One's dressed in like baseball boots, cut denims halfway, shirt on. That's all fit good and well. But then when they show you the options to go buying an outfit from stores that will match this, there's a male model involved, Johnny. I'm confused. I mean, what are you going out as this Halloween? I no longer know. Are you dressing up as like ghosty, scary things, or do you pick some kind of identity and you just go as that?
Well, Kev, I think one of these characters wears male shirts.
Definitely looks like it.
Do you know what I mean? And honestly, I'm the same as you, Kev. I don't even know this woman. I've never heard of Euphoria. I've never watched it.
I mean,
So
for all we know,
it's
for all we know, Johnny, maybe she identifies as a boy. And listen, usually I'm cracking jokes about this thing, but literally we're trying to get to the bottom of how in hell's name this became a Halloween outfit. A pair of denim shorts, some like basketball shoes, a male shirt, and yeah, that's about it. A t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we'll let Marie Claire off, right? Maybe they've just gone a bit artsy for number one. So
maybe actually wears like a big do you know, like the pretend grass, Kev? So you go there actually lying down as if you're in the park.
It's like, we should get some of that for the safe space, dude. Says here, since all your friends are talking about Euphoria, damn, Johnny, we must be getting old, dude. I mean, we like our TV, and neither of us have heard of this.
No.
There's something wrong with it. I think there's something wrong with this. It says, just don't go into any trouble with the law enforcement or drug dealers on Halloween. K? So they can't even say okay now. They've shortened that to K. Oh, wow. But let's go on to number 2. Maybe, like I say, maybe it's a blip. No, because the second character is somebody called Maddie Perez. Now, Maddie maybe strikes images of maniacs or crazy people into your head. That fits with Halloween. But Maddie Perez from, you guessed it, Euphoria. An attractive, young-looking woman who is wearing some kind of bikini. And when did going out in a bikini and high heels and wearing like makeup and being scantily clad, when did that become a thing, Johnny?
Well, I mean Halloween
most
is
girls
meant
in
to
Glasgow.
scare you.
Most girls in
Going out
Glasgow
like
look.
would,
Most girls in Glasgow look like that every weekend.
yeah, that's a Saturday night in Glasgow.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying, folks? Halloween's
nothing to
been
do with
broken.
Halloween.
They've broken Halloween. Now, this one, maybe we're starting to get into a bit more, Johnny, right? We've got Agent H and Agent M from the Men in Black international movie. And, of course, this is Men in Black Goes Woke. Not, we've got our first woman in there. And, of course, that's brought up conversations about, shall we change it to Women in Black, People in Black? You know how it goes in woke world. But, Johnny, again, I'm looking at this here. Okay, maybe an MIB, like your kind of from legend and lore and the Mothman Prophecies book type of MIB you find in there. Maybe at a stretch you would go dressed as one of them, right? Maybe. It's not the best Halloween costume, granted, but it's better than 2 characters we don't know from a TV show that nobody knows.
Yeah, and Kev, to be honest with you, I mean, going about with this guy with the black suit and the white shirt, and
he looks more like Bond.
Yeah, it could be a bouncer.
Maybe he's going to tell her, you're not getting into the Halloween party looking like that, hen. It just ain't happening.
They crazy looking soldiers in the back, that would be frightening in Halloween.
Johnny, you took the thought out of my cranium. Now, they look more akin to your crazy Halloween costumes, like something out of some futuristic dystopian future, like helmets on, gas masks hanging off.
Can you imagine meeting that in a dark alley, Kev?
No, thank you.
Oh,
I would definitely rather meet a couple of the cast from Euphoria, to be honest with you, Johnny.
Yeah.
But then, as if it couldn't get any weirder, how about, if there's any parents out there listening to this, consider this awkward moment that might arise sometime real soon. So, Jilly, or Johnny, what are you going out as this Christmas? Oh, Mum, I've decided I know what I'm going out as. I'm going out as Miley Cyrus. Yes, the Miley Cyrus look is now a Halloween costume. And not just any Miley Cyrus look. No, Miley Cyrus, in brackets, post Liam Hemsworth. Now that she's rid of that toxic male, now that she's gone all girl power, that's the look that you're going for, ladies. And of course, since I don't discriminate, boys as well. Maybe young boys might want to go out as Miley Cyrus. Who am I to judge? But you got to get the costume just right, Johnny. You can't have like pre-breakup with Hemsworth. It has to be afterwards, or else it's just not scary enough.
Well, Kev, this has got to be the cheapest costume out of them all, because there's not really much there, eh?
No, it doesn't really leave much to the imagination. And I tell you what, for the first time in the list, Johnny, I think we found something truly frightening. Not the costume, Miley Cyrus. Or, as we like to call her on this show from time to time, Smiley Virus. So, scrolling on down. And this wouldn't have been my next option, or I wouldn't have thought anyone's option for Halloween. Meryl Streep? Who wants to go out at Halloween as Meryl Streep?
Yeah, with a cardigan on.
Well, cardigan. Okay, cool. So we're going for like the cardigan, not really disguised old woman look. Not really going to work much. Don't go dressed up in Glasgow as any of these people, folks. There's a good chance you might end up in one of my stories, and it won't be a happy ending. But now we're moving on to Stranger Things. Big hit show. Some weird woo in there. But unless you're going to go out dressed as the Demogorgon, I don't really think there's anything too scary in there, John.
No. No, nothing.
Will we get Demogorgoned up, Johnny? Will we go for it, man? So it says here, you can go out dressed as Jim Hopper. Now, Jim Hopper's a great character in the TV show. He plays the cop.
Really cool.
Really cool, Johnny. But at no time, and especially not when he's confronted by the Demogorgon, does he strike fear into even the most weak of soy boys out there. This man is not an ounce of terrifying.
Nah.
The flowery Hawaiian shirt. I mean, who would go out with a flowery Hawaiian shirt? I can see maybe going out as some crazy beach bum surfer. Cool. That's going to get a better reaction than going out as Jim, the friendly cop from Stranger Things. What's wrong with people? But we continue, Johnny, because it doesn't stop there. No. Next up, we have Shawn Mendes and Camilo Cabello.
Yeah.
And I think the silence says it all. I've heard of Shawn Mendes. I've heard of him. I don't know about the other half of this. I mean, they look like quite a cute singing couple there. Again,
Yeah, they do.
not the kind of thing you coil away from on a Halloween thinking, oh, that's a scary costume. Things have changed, Johnny. But did you see what's coming?
You have to go out as a couple, and one of you has to be able to play the guitar.
Did you see what's coming next? Did you see what's coming next? If maybe you are a bit disconcerted at your Jilly or Johnny wanting to go out as Miley Cyrus, why don't you consider going out with them, accompany them? Who has? Well, Billy Ray, of course. Billy Ray Cyrus. Now, this is at least one of the first funniest ones we've come across, Johnny, right?
Yeah. Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas X.
Who?
In Old Town Road. I mean, you got to go out as two. You can't go out as one kid.
Exactly, Johnny. Exactly. You have to buddy up, dude. You know why you have to buddy up in this system, in this Halloween? Because real men like me and you remember when Halloween was for men. Some of these poor people might not make it home on Halloween, Johnny. So we keep scrolling down, and now we have Missandei from the Game of Thrones. Now,
No.
now we're not going to criticise this one because myself and John are toxic males, and we encourage dressing like Missandei probably every day of the year, John.
Yeah, except a Wednesday, Kev. I put my coat on a Wednesday.
I think I would look good as the wee unit guy there. Remember we done the Photoshop as me as like Tyrion, the little dwarf in Game of Thrones? It's still one of the most disturbing images. Every time I go into the Photoshop Wars folder, Johnny, I'm met with the disturbing reality that the one person in Hollywood that I do actually have a look for is a 3'5" dwarf. Go figure. So next up, we've got Elton John. A bit risky. Definitely for your Rocket Man out there. Johnny, let's face it, not everyone can pull off the Elton John look.
Nah.
And again, for Halloween, I would get Alice Cooper. You know, he's a bit of a scary looking dude, right?
That's a good idea.
Marlon Manson, I get that. Marina Abramovich, she's not a pop star, but she's definitely a ghoul for Halloween. But Elton John, really? I don't know. I'd get him to come in and sing me a song. But you better not be telling any jokes, Elton. I want at least a couple of number one hits out of you. Or I ain't giving you no candy, punk. No candy. So thankfully, folks, we got to the end of that. But is it just me and Johnny?
There's another one.
Is there?
It was actually when I scrolled down to have a look at because it's all about Halloween.
Oh, there's more.
One to tell you about how to look like Meghan Markle in Halloween.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Meghan Markle, very attractive young lady. Married into a bit of a dodgy family. You know, they've got a bit of a history to them, Johnny. But
they have.
how to look like her.
I know.
Be the best
where does it
version.
end?
Girls, be the best version of you. Don't try and be no fake version of somebody that sold out to the reptilians. Be the best version of you that you can be. And you know what the big secret is? You're already awesome. You don't need to try and like copy or imitate one of these people that's airbrushed here, photoshopped there. And from a guy that's got very limited knowledge about Photoshop and things, I could even make me look good on there. So really, what is it you're trying to look like? My point being, don't feel pressured by magazines like Marie Claire or all the other kind of trendy things out there. K? I can't believe that's even a thing now, Johnny. K?
K.
I know. So then, Johnny, we're talking Halloween. Got me thinking about ooga boogas, ghosties, woo, stuff like that. And start off in the UK. You know, we often talk with Bill Bean about the increase in the paranormal activity, right? Well, over here, we have got in Devon and Cornwall already a scary place without anything supernatural going on. The number of ghost sightings in Devon and Cornwall have been reported to police revealed. So number of ghost sightings in Devon and Cornwall reported to police revealed. Silly headline. But it says here, if there's something strange in your neighbourhood, then you call the Ghostbusters. Can I put like a stipulation in there, John? Yeah, Ghostbusters handy, but probably better going for the earlier version of the Ghostbusters and not the ones that just flopped in the cinema like 18 months or so ago. You know, the woke Ghostbusters? I don't think they ain't going to be busting no ghosts. So it says with Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis and Bill Murray as the eccentric parapsychologists, having not expanded their ghost catching business from New York to Devon and Cornwall, residents who see things running through their head instead call the police. A Freedom of Information request to Devon and Cornwall police asked them to provide information on incidents over the past 2 years where the word ghost was logged. It says in total 39 incidents where the caller was reporting supernatural or paranormal activity were logged and included. However, the information provided says that unlike the Ghostbusters, the police would not attend an incident for the report of paranormal activity. An officer will attend, though, if there is concern for welfare for either the caller or another individual, or where there is reason to believe an offence may have occurred. So the information, it goes on to say the response added, a lot of incidents involved individuals with mental health issues and are therefore not indicative of a supernatural or the paranormal. In total, 22 incidents in 2017 were recorded, with a further 17 in 2018. Now, Johnny, the shadow man I came into contact with, or the thing I caught out the corner of my eye, although I was deeply disturbed by it, at no point did I thought, well, maybe I should call like Police Scotland and tell them like there's a shadow man in the toilet. My point being, this number, I mean, is it indicative of anything? Because I would imagine most people, they wouldn't bother the police with something like this, would they? And Johnny, keep this in mind. If there are any criminals down in Devon and Cornwall, not that I'm encouraging criminal behaviour, but think about it. Probably run the risk of being on Kev's Dumbest Criminals during the day, but if you were to maybe go and rob somewhere and dress up as a ghost and go, ooh, if you get spotted, when somebody phones the police and they say there's some loonball, he's looking like a ghost and he's going, ooh, well, the police have told you, Johnny, they're not going to respond, right? You're sorted, man.
That's right.
You're sorted, dude. Absolutely jamming. That's all criminals, buy a sheet, go ghost, go full ghost, you're in there. What do you think, dude?
Easiest way, Kev. It's the easiest way.
You see, who knew? Who knew it was that easy, yeah? All the
See,
tricks
now
here.
you're giving people ideas now, Kev.
I know they'll probably ban the Kev Baker show for it. encouraging, criminal activity. Is it really criminal? Yeah, is it really criminal activity if they do it dressed up as a ghost? Can we not just like call them a character and throw them in some like loony bin somewhere, John?
Well, you probably was as well. Anyway, Kev, some of the loonies that are out there just now.
Absolutely,
Most of them in government.
You know, think of the old phrase that the lunatics have taken over the asylum. That explains the world that we're in, right?
It really does, Kev.
When you get the worst psychopaths in the asylum running it, this is what happens, folks. So we're going to come back after the break. I'm going to reset with Johnny. And we're going to get into some Scottish woo. And don't forget, coming up on Freaky Friday this week, we are going Bates Motel. Yes, that's right. Myself and Scott, we're going to tap into that Oedipus complex we both have. We're both mummy's boys. And we're going to get Norma, our mothers, our mothers, to provide us with lots of woo for Freaky Friday and the weekend streams. Something different, Johnny. Yeah, something different. Excellent. It's going to be a throwback to the old woo, the Ooga Boogas of old. So I hope you can all join us for that. I'll be keeping you up to date with all that as the week continues. And we'll be back after these very short, really brief, but really cool messages. Don't go anywhere. Right, there we go, folks. I need to reconnect with the Whistler. I've got no idea what happened to the Whistler's camera there. Absolutely no idea. Amanda, yes, police were called to Rutherglen a few years ago. I remember that. I do actually remember that. There was talk at the time of myself and Whistles. I think that was about, it must have been 3 or 4 years ago now. Wait till I get Whistles back before I forget. But yeah, Scotland's a super haunted place. Super haunted. We've got Ben Emlyn Jones on the show tomorrow night. And Ben, he researches the paranormal, UFOs. You know who Ben is. But we'll get into all of this stuff with Ben tomorrow. And he often mentions, the fact that when it comes to Scotland, you're talking about one of the most paranormal or supernaturally active areas on the planet. It's as simple as that. And we've only got, 5-6 million people here. So the amount of, paranormal stories per head, per capita, it makes it like a psychic melting pot. There we go. Here comes the Whistler. Okay, I thought we were getting the Whistler back. Let me try that again, folks. Let me try it again. I said to Whistler before the show, I said, I've got all this stuff sussed out, Johnny. We're going to have no problems here today. You leave it with me, man. I've got it covered. Just you be there, and I'll do all the stuff in the background. Be flawless, John. You'll not even know that we're simulcasting and we're doing all this cool stuff. Got it sussed, right? Ah, yes, indeed. Here we go. Not sussed at all, ladies and gents. Not sussed at all. Let's see if we get him this time. There he is. There he is. The Whistler. And we see you now, Johnny. We see you briefly.
Next one.
That'll probably last until we bring in the hosts again, man. And I was telling people, we were laughing before the show, weren't we? I was saying, Johnny, I've got this all sussed, man. I'm multitask it, we simulcast it. You don't have to worry about a thing, dude. That's how this show rolls now. And it all went, wah, wah, wah. Told you, man.
It's the usual, Kev. It's the usual. As soon as you say everything's cool, let's go.
And what I'm going to do, Johnny, is I'm going to hang up on you just now, right? Okay. And then I'm going to add you to a call with the studio once I get the studio on. That's what we're going to do, okay? You see? I've got it sussed. I'll keep us right, folks. But yeah, remember, tomorrow, won't be here on the Safe Space stream. I've got appointments, hospital, mad day. And then I will be here tomorrow night with Ben Emlyn Jones, back on the Safe Space on Wednesday. And on Wednesday night, we're going to be talking about sex magic with Tia, the TV medium. Oh, you want to be here for that one? Absolutely. Johnny's face said it all. Right, Johnny, I'll call you back in just a moment, sir.
Okay.
Okay, folks, so here we go. We're going to be going to the mothership real soon. I'll just message Johnny, give it 36 or so. Yes, a bit of a surprise. Wasn't really sure if we would simulcast this hour number 2 tonight, but when Johnny said he was feeling good, I'm thinking, well, why not? Let's just go for it. Why the devil not? We'll just crack on, we'll give it a go, and we are going to go back live to TFR any moment, folks. Any moment now. Here we go. 3, 2, Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Final segment of today's Kev Baker Show right here on your number one network, where you get protection from deception. Truth Frequency Radio, www.tfrlive.com. And now I'm going to try and work some technological shenanigans behind the scenes here. And I'm going to try and add in my good friend, Mr. Whistles. Now then, let me see. It's like a seance. Johnny, are you there, Johnny? Don't. I'll start creeping myself out if I start stuff like that, folks. Let's just pray that the big man answers here. Fingers crossed. There he is. He's there. Whistles, you are there. You're live. Dude, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine, Kev. Thanks.
Awesome stuff. So we had some good fun in the first part of the show there. Our technical glitches are now out of the way, my good friend. You'll be pleased to hear. It's great to see you. You're looking well, sir.
Yeah, doing fine, Kev. Getting there.
Awesome. So I was thinking, Johnny, which one of us is going as Miley and which one's going as Billy Ray for our Halloween disco that we're going to, man?
Well, you're skinny enough to go as Miley, Kev. I bet it goes Billy.
Yeah, I've got her legs. I was thinking that myself. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. So, folks, a big shout out to everyone at tfrlive.com. Don't forget, coming up right after today's Kev Baker Show, it doesn't stop here. It never does on TFR. We don't roll like that. Lucky and Dr. Brooks Agnew are on the way. They're in the green room right now, the virtual green room there. Warming up. They're getting ready. They're finding all of the best information for you, the best audience in alternative media land. Aren't they just, Whistles?
They are, Kev. I can see them just now. They're rattling through papers.
Exactly. It's like Jonesy in the command centre, right? They've got the document cam on and everything. So let's get back into this, dude, because Scotland, it's one of the most haunted places, right? I mean, I speak to Ben Emlyn Jones about this all the time. He often brings up the fact that when you look at the population here and then match that up with the amount of paranormal tales and all the hauntings, the fairy glens, the Loch Ness monsters, all of the woo whistles, it makes it like some kind of paranormal activity hotspot. It truly is. I don't think we appreciate it being in it so much.
No, Kevin.
Yes, and Whistles is, you see, this is what happens. It's some kind of poltergeist has taken over the Whistler. Not looking too good. You see, this is when you end up on like streams that go wrong. Mad Whistler. Well, Johnny, I've got a story here, right? Well, you're recovering there. I've got a story, and it comes from, you guessed it, Scotland. Now, I don't know about you out there, but Anne has this kind of little superstition. Not superstition, but anytime we go over a bridge, and it doesn't need to be a big bridge, but just any bridge that's got water running underneath, she gets real scared, right? So today I was looking for like ghosty stories and hauntings and things in Scotland, Johnny, and I come across this here. 8 of Scotland's creepiest haunted roads and bridges. Now, I don't think we spoke about this before on the show. Johnny, take a drink or something, man. You need to hopefully get rid of that frog in your throat. It's because we're talking paranormal, dude. That's what it is. These Ooga Boogas are saying, there's Whistler, I'm going to get him. They've got him, man. See? They've got him again. So it says here, with its deep lochs, misty glens, and ancient castles, it's no wonder that Scotland is a country shrouded in tales of spectral appearances. Hang on. When you're doing stories like this, you need a little bit of background music on, right? Come on now. Where do we find a little bit? There it is there. Okay, so we're in the mood now, Johnny, right? We're driving along in the dark in Scotland. It says here, but it's not just our old buildings that have been home to several spooky sightings. There have been countless reports of ghostly goings-ons on our roads, bridges, and buried streets. Here are some of Scotland's most haunted roads and bridges where you can expect to encounter ancient coaches, and horses, crazed vintage car drivers, and even, you guessed it, a hound from hell. Ooga booga, Johnny. Ooga booga. How you feeling now, man?
I'm good, Kev. Thanks. Sorry
Excellent.
about
Don't you be sorry about that. I'm just glad you're still with us, dude. I thought I was going to have to, give you some kind of how would you call it? Remote CPR? I don't even think there's an app on your phone that can do that for you yet, dude.
that. No.
Right,
no
so
yet, Kev.
some of these roads, I'm sure some of them will be out your way. Bound to be some here. I bet there's a few up north as well, Johnny. So it starts off here, the A75 Kinmount Straight, and that is in Dumfries and Galloway. So known as Scotland's Ghost Road, this stretch of the A75 between Carrutherstown and Annan has been the site of plenty of paranormal activity. From phantom hitchhikers to wild dogs and cats and a person who walks out in front of cars. This stretch of road is Scotland's most haunted. John, imagine that. You're driving along, dude, and you see somebody stepping out in front of the car. You're naturally going to be absolutely in bits. And then it gets worse when the thing whoosh, just disappears.
Yeah. I mean, we see that, Kevin, in some movies, and it's even frightening then, do you know what I mean? But can you imagine that actually happening to you? You think you've just knocked somebody down, and then there's nobody there. They're gone once you've stopped. And
yeah, I think you'd actually question, Johnny. I don't even think the ghost element would come to your mind to start with. I think you would still be wondering, where the hell did they go?
Yeah, exactly. That'd be horrible.
That would be horrible. Wild dogs and cats. Don't make the cats all scary. Don't do that. So it says here the Old Tay Bridge in Dundee. It says here, trust me folks, the scariest thing in Dundee are the women. I don't care what anyone says. This bridge hasn't got a thing on them. It says here, Britain's worst ever bridge disaster took place on the 28th of December 1879 when the Tay Bridge in Dundee collapsed, plunging a 6-carriage train into the water and killing all 75 passengers on board. It's since been rebuilt, but it's said that each year on the disaster's anniversary, you can see a ghost train crossing the old stretch of bridge. Ever heard of that one, John? I've never heard of that one, man.
I've never heard of that, Kev. It was quite interesting. Do you know what I mean? But
it's weird. It's weird because, I mean, I've been... for weeks now, I've been talking about how Armand put me onto the Mothman prophecies. No new book, but it was the audiobook version, right? And obviously, when it comes to Point Pleasant, the area that this was all kind of situated around, I mean, you had the bridge collapse in there as well. So, yeah, that was a bit weird coming across that one, I must admit. So it says here, Overton Bridge, West Dumbartonshire. As many as oh no, this is a weird one. I've heard of this before, John. As many as 300 dogs have thrown themselves off Overton Bridge, known as Dog Suicide Bridge. It's located on the grounds of the Overton House, which is said to be haunted by the White Lady of Overton, the ghost of the grieving widow of the previous estate owner, John White. Now, while some believe the ghost is compelling dogs to take their own lives, others have speculated that the dogs are attracted by the smell of animal carcasses in the woods below the bridge. That's a bit dark. That's a bit weird.
I don't think dogs would actually jump off a bridge because they smell food, Kev.
It doesn't...
I don't think they're that daft.
No, I don't think so either. In fact, I definitely don't think dogs are daft. They might have a daft side to them, but highly intelligent, eh?
Yeah, I mean...
That doesn't make sense.
Kill themselves.
Yeah. That's weird, huh?
That's a weird one.
You'd have to see how it acts, I suppose, John. Whether it's kind of cowering away and running away from something, and it comes to, or whether it's literally taking a look over and, taking its glasses off and taking its wee dog jacket off and writing a wee dog note with its paw and
having a fag, having its last fag, and then just throwing itself off the bridge.
Dog lives matter. That's the moral of that story, folks. And here, one of what has to be the scariest locations in Scotland. Mary King's Close in Edinburgh. The preserved 17th century street hidden under the city chambers is shrouded in tales of murders and hauntings. The street was closed off during the plague outbreak, and its residents were left to die alone for fear of others catching their gruesome sickness. The most famous of the street's residents is Annie, a little girl who died of the plague and lost her doll. Today, tourists who visit Mary King's Close are asked to leave gifts for Annie. You've been there, Whistles, right?
Yeah, I have, Kev. It is pretty. It's a eerie place, Kev. When you think about it, you know what I mean, that people were actually having to live there.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Like
But
a whole
as well
world.
as having this disease.
And a whole world under there, John. You know, you're walking through Edinburgh. You would never appreciate that you've got almost like this underground city below it as well.
Exactly. It's like it's like a city underground, Kev. It's just as big underground. It's incredible.
Big time. Now we're getting closer to Kev Boy's neck of the woods here. A9, the Scottish Highlands. One of Scotland's most haunted roads is the A9, which has had sightings of an ornate coach and horses, sometimes with wig-wearing footmen. And there was also a sighting of a man dressed in Victorian attire on a horse at the mound between Dornoch and Galsby. And I'll say that the A9, along with, is it the I can't remember, there's a road between Inverness and Aberdeen, Johnny. You know, they were calling one road earlier on the Ghost Road. Well, between the A9 and this road between Inverness and Aberdeen, the amount of lives that road or those roads have claimed in itself would make me think that perhaps there's some, I don't know, energies around that kind of road that would definitely lead to weird stuff going on, wouldn't you think?
You would think with the amount of accidents, Kev, because I bet you a lot of these accidents are not related to any weather kind of event, or
a lot of them are due to speed. A lot of them are due to speed, and I hate to say it, but you know, people thinking they can drive faster than they can, and then you've got the tourists in the summer slowing everything down, and that makes people impatient, and you start to think, well, I can overtake here, when in reality you would never have tried overtaking there. And then you've got the foreigners as well. It's not unheard of that you've got like a European tour bus and it ends up on the wrong side of the road, Johnny. Too many times I've heard that story been told up my way. So another one here says Dilmarnock Bridge in Rutherglen. Very much closer to home now, John. There have been reports of a suicidal man in his 30s on the 200-year-old Dilmarnock Bridge in Rutherglen, staring over the side before jumping and vanishing. He's reported to be wearing black trousers and a blue jacket from the 1930s. What, did they go up and check the tag on his jacket or something?
No.
Okay, it's probably in the style of the 30s. You know me though, Johnny. Yeah, I've never heard of that one, have you?
I haven't, Kev.
No.
I mean, that's pretty close to home as well, so
Now,
weird it when I heard it.
Now we're going to a different planet altogether. We're going to the Isle of Skye.
I've been there.
Sligachen, okay? Yeah, try pronouncing that one after a few whiskies. Sligachen. And it says on the east side of the island, ghostly appearances of a 1934 Austin 7 speeding along the road with its headlights on have been reported. Some have said they've had to pull over to let the car overtake them before witnessing it vanishing into midair. The sightings date back to the 1940s, and it's said that the car's driver was a church minister who caused a fatal accident and went insane with guilt. Good story.
Oh, he didn't need to move over for him, Kev, because, he's a ghost. He would have just carried on right through.
It must be that real though, Johnny. It looks like there's somebody tailgating you to the point where you're pulling into the side of the road. And being from Skye, I'm sure that they time it nicely to coincide with a field full of sheep, just in case they might have to wait by the road for some time, Johnny. There's some entertainment for them while they wait for said spectral car to go past. And like you said, it's a ghost. He's not going to tell any tales. What happens in Skye, it stays in Skye, folks. Trust me. You don't need to go there for me to tell you that.
A weird place, Skye.
Johnny,
Honestly,
I'll tell you,
everybody I met, every woman I met was called Moira.
trust me, this is how weird it is, right? We'll get the scary music off for this one. But you know, I used to play shinty, right? Shinty,
Mhm.
mental Highland game. Men running about with sticks, hitting lumps out of each other. But Sky, we used to go up there quite regularly. And when I was, say, maybe under 17s level, we had one of the best teams in the Highlands. And Sky had a good one as well. And I always used to dread going up there. A, it was a hell of a drive. B, you had to get a ferry at the time. There wasn't the bridge. And then C, when you get there, I mean, talk about strange. Scotland isn't a big place. It only took us a few hours to get there. Yet, the minute you walked into a pub or a restaurant and you're thinking, but Kev, you're only under 17, you get a meal after the game and things, folks. And what happens is, Johnny, you can hear them all yucking and joking and having a good time and that. And then the minute you walk in, they switch from speaking Scottish, English, into Gaelic so that you can't understand them.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like, what weird world have I kind of stumbled into here?
It's like stepping back in time, Kev.
Yep.
As soon as you walk into the pub.
I'm sorry.
It is quite nuts you
It's
mention
ignorant.
that.
It's ignorant, dude. I mean, it's the height
Yeah,
of ignorance. It truly
it is.
is. And I mean, somewhere like Skye, really, they should be grateful of anyone turning up there for it. Shinty, with sightseers, anything. The economy must be pretty harsh, Johnny, right? There's nothing there apart from tourists,
no.
sheep,
People
drunken
welcome-
locals, and people that are very, very fluent in Gaelic.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there you go. That's my weird story about Skye. The people are the scariest portion of Skye, folks. I'm telling you right now. So number 1 on the list, the A93 north of Blair Gowrie. Good Scottish sounding name for a town there. A huge and mysterious ghost dog. Oh boy, now we're getting into it. Which frightens other dogs and horses, is said to patrol the A93 north of Blair Gowrie in Perthshire. It has been likened to a, quote, hellhound, mythological dogs used as guardians to the entrance of the underworld. Legend has it, if you stare into their eyes 3 times, you'll die. If I end up seeing a hellhound or anything that goes by the name of hellhound, Johnny, if I get close enough to see into the whites of its eyes, I'm going to be turning 180 degrees and running. I ain't going to be looking at it 3 times. I ain't wanting to get...
Exactly.
You look at something 3 times in Scotland with a smile on your face, and that's like chatting somebody up. You ain't going to do that with this dog, right? It's a hellhound.
No chance. I bet its eyes are red as well.
Oh,
There's no way. Once you looked at that, you're gone. You're gone, Kev.
dude. See, now this makes me want to go to a story that I also had up for today. There's been I'm not going to say a lot of people. There's been a few people recently asking me about Dogman. I can't get away from it, Johnny. Dogman. Talk about the Dogman. So I decided today, and how weird is it, right, that we finished with like a hellhound and Dogman here? And I'd sent you a couple of links. And so for people out there like myself, and I know we spoke about the Dogman before on shows, Johnny, but now that I've got like over, it's nearly 1,200 shows done, everything's starting to all blend into one. So sometimes I even do shows about things and people will be going, but Kev's acting like he doesn't know that. He spoke about that years ago. It was years ago, folks. There's 1,200 episodes to choose from. So, the Dogman, I need a refresher, Johnny. And it says here, let me just pull this up. The Michigan Dogman. In Michigan folklore, the Michigan Dogman was allegedly witnessed in 1887 in Wexford County, Michigan. The creature is described as a 7-foot-tall, blue-eyed, or amber-eyed, bipedal, canine-like animal. I think Dogman, dog, it kind of gave away the canine features, just saying, with a torso of a man and a fearsome howl that sounds like a human scream. Johnny, that sounds terrifying. What do you know about the Dogman before I bring up some of these other links, dude? Anything?
Actually, I didn't know anything until I seen the link, Kevin. The one that they've got there in that picture, now that's incredible, really, when you think about it. That they think that's a... Well, even science, the scientists don't know what it is. They think it could be some sort of hybrid. Now, Kev, that is a pretty weird-looking animal, that.
Very weird looking animal. And the story that Johnny's talking about there says, Beast Alert. What is Dogman? And how many claimed sightings have there been of this mythical wolf predator? The beast, it says, has been spotted in 38 of the 50 US states. And sightings have been reported from Norway. No danger. Big shout out to Sid and all our Norwegian listeners. I know it's probably late over there now, but you'll hear this in the archive. From Norway to Brazil. These dog men get about, Johnny. So it says here, social media, and folks, this comes from May last year. This isn't a new story, but it's just because people have been talking Dogman, I decided to dig up the first kind of links I could find. So it says here, social media is awash, or was awash, with speculation that a mythical dog-human hybrid has been shot in Montana. But what is a Dogman, and how many sightings have there been, and has it killed anyone? Well, here's our lowdown. The beast has been spotted in 38 of the 50 states, like I said, Norway to Brazil, and according to the myth, most dogmen have canine-like legs, but around 5% look like large, muscular humans with dog heads. Johnny, imagine you're going fishing or something, dude. You know, I wonder what I'll catch today, just strolling down, maybe off up the hill for a nice wee hill walk, you know. Think, I've got my picnic, I've got my joints ready to go, get my fishing line out. And then, dude, somebody built like a Nephilim with the head of a dog comes wandering out, tucking his man away, maybe taking a wee pee or something, you know? Dude, what's going on there?
I don't know, but I'd probably become like the world's fastest swimmer, Kev.
Same here, dude. I'd be in with the fish.
Yeah, definitely. I would beat the fish.
I would imagine dogmen can. I imagine with the description, the dogman is probably quite a proficient swimmer here. Maybe not our best option, Johnny. But what option do you have? You can't go up a tree. He's a dogman. He's huge. He's just going to pluck you out the tree, right? Maybe you could bribe him with one of your sandwiches, a joint, and he could help you fish. You see?
Give him a beer.
You see, you give Dogman a fish and he eats for a day. You teach him how to fish. You see where I'm going, Johnny? You see it? And that there ends all the kind of perceived non-war between men and women, and dog men and women. You see, this is quite not very inclusive as well. What if it's a dog woman? You get them in Dundee.
They might be crazy.
Yeah, they're in Dundee at Dundee Bridge. I remember that. So it says here, despite a vast number of sightings, dogman attacks are thought to be relatively rare. Dogman researcher, what a job, Vic Cundiff said, quote, less than 1% of eyewitnesses who have shared their encounters with me claimed to have been attacked by the dogman they encountered. Well, that's encouraging. There's a picture there of something. It just looks like a dog to me, to be honest with you. It looks like a paw. I get that. Was one killed in Montana, it says. Some experts believe a dogman was killed in Montana. This says last week, or this week. This is last year, folks, okay? So the lone animal killed on a privately owned ranch has long greyish fur, a large head, and an extended snout. And in anyone else's book, I think they call that a wolf. I'm just saying.
I know.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying. So, Whistles, we're almost out of time. I was going to get into a big rant about this story to do with... Here he comes. Here's Brian, my AI assistant. Take it away, Brian.
Went to zoo. They only had a dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
Oh, Brian made a mess of that joke. It would have been far better if he'd pronounced that one quite right. It wasn't a Shih Tzu, but it was a something zoo, right? But this picture here of Loch Ness, I tell you what, dude, if you can take me anywhere up and around Loch Ness, the River Ness, the mouth of which goes into Loch Ness, and you can show me where that is, well, I tell you what, dude, I'll happily go and fight the dog man for you. It's not even a picture of Loch Ness, Johnny. Imagine my anger seeing this earlier on today. And then, to top it off, Have you seen the latest shenanigans, John? The Loch Ness Monster isn't a monster. It's just like some big crazy eel.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I take it you're like me then. You're not very happy with this
No, I'm
scientific
not, Kev.
explanation. No.
No.
I don't have to be like an expert in Nessie to know that if you go to a body of water that is said to be bottomless in some areas, that contains lots of fish, lots of different species thereof fish, then guess what? It doesn't really mean anything when you turn up with a bit of eel DNA from water where eels live, Johnny. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah,
If
Kev, I thought it was pretty stupid the way that they came out with that. And I mean, the evidence that they had, do you know what I mean?
I mean, if they'd only come up with salmon DNA, would they have said Nessie's a salmon? No! I'll be back tomorrow, folks, with Ben Emlyn Jones, the return of the Whistler. Oh, it's been fun. So much fun. Wherever you are, keep it tuned for Lucky and Dr. Brooks Agnew and make it TFR.
Didn't touch that dial.
There it is. There it is. So, folks, on YouTube, we have had a blast. I hope you've enjoyed the Whistler being back. I've certainly had a blast here. You see, I have got crazier in the time you've been away, John. I don't apologise for that. No. In fact, I promote it and embrace it.
Yes.
Indeed.
Definitely, Kev.
Yes.
Nah, it's been good, mate. I really enjoyed that, buddy. Thanks very much, honestly.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. 147, but 150, not a kick in the bum off it in the chat room. Watching the stream, all the people over on TFR as well. Honestly, folks, can't thank you enough. It's been a brilliant day today. We had the crazy safe space stream. If you didn't catch that, there's a story about a camel on there that you really do have to go and listen to. Oh, Johnny, what a story this is. I'll be back tomorrow, though. Like I say, Ben Emlyn Jones, he is the guy behind the Hospital Porters Against the New World Order. We'll be getting into a whole heap of woo. Loch Ness included. Don't forget to keep your eye on the YouTube here for today's interview with Dr. Brian Keating. I'll be uploading that later on or tomorrow. And remember, keep your fingers crossed for me tomorrow, folks. I've got the hospital to go to, and I've also got this meeting, this kind of advice from Google, YouTube, and the two things are really close together in timings. So I'm going to be flying about like a blue-arsed dogman on steroids tomorrow, trying to get things lining up, Johnny. You know how the universe works in Kev World. Lines up everything nicely, only for the wrecking ball to come in and just leave everything in smithereens, man.
It's all right, Kev. Don't worry about that.
The best laid plans and all that. So, folks, until tomorrow, I want to thank you all and everyone that supported the stream, all the members out there as well. And somebody's talking about David Paulides has some weird stuff. He does. He certainly does, Edward. I've reached out to him before to try and get him on the show to talk about missing 411, the amount of people that go missing in the national parks and forests. But not only that, he started to look at the urban areas now as well. And if you like your woo, that stuff's going to blow your mind. So, until next time, folks, remember to keep asking questions, keep your eyes open, keep your mind open, but not to the point where it turns to the black goo. So, we are out of here, and I will leave you all with some really happy go fun time weekend woo music. How about that? You're going to love this, Whistles. Damn, this is good music. Come on, man. That's got like a 70s porno thing going on. Whistles, that's like a bit of Kojak mixed with a bit of Brown chicken, brown cow. Ron Jeremy music, right? What's that, Whistles?
That's cool as fuck.
Isn't it? Isn't it just?